You've seen it happen, right? That brilliant baker or that genius mechanic. They open their own shop and you just know it's going to be a huge hit. But then, a year or two later, the doors are closed. They were amazing at what they did, so what went wrong? Well, today we're unpacking the number one reason most passionate small businesses fail, and it's all based on the game-changing book, The E-Myth. Okay, let's just start with a dose of reality. The stats from the US Bureau of Labor are, well, they're pretty sobering. Look at this. 80% of small businesses make it past their first year. Okay, not bad. But by year 5, half of them are gone. And after a decade, only about a third are still standing. But here's the real kicker. This has almost nothing to do with people not working hard enough. The real reason is way more subtle. So that's the big question, isn't it? If it's not a lack of passion, and it's not a lack of skill at their craft, why do so many businesses that start as a dream just completely fall apart? It's a massive puzzle, and we're about to put the pieces together. The answer, it turns out, is a single fatal assumption. It's this hidden trap that almost every single new entrepreneur walks right into. It's called the E-Myth, the entrepreneurial myth. And it's the belief that because you're good at the technical work of a business, you'll automatically be good at running a business. And that one idea? Oh, it's a killer. To really get our heads around this, let's see how this trap plays out in the real world. I want to tell you a quick story that probably sounds a little too familiar. So meet Lisa. Lisa makes these incredible handmade soaps. I mean, she's a true artist. Her friends, her family, they're all obsessed. And they all tell her the same thing. Lisa, you should totally start a business. So she does. She takes her life savings, finds a cute little spot downtown, and she's off. Flash forward 6 months, the dream, it's a total nightmare. She's working 14-hour days, she's drowning in paperwork, sales are all over the place, and she can't seem to keep any staff for more than a few weeks. But the worst part, the absolute worst part, is that she's starting to hate making soap, the one thing in the world she used to love. You see, Lisa didn't build a business. She built herself a prison, and she'd walked right into the trap. So what happened there? How did it go so wrong so fast? Lisa was a victim of the central E-Myth, what we call the myth of the expert. Let's really break down what that means. Here it is, right here. It's this fatal assumption that if you know how to do the work, you'll know how to build a business that does the work. But those are two completely different skill sets. Lisa was an expert soap maker, no doubt, but she was a total rookie when it came to things like marketing or HR or supply chain management. You know, all the stuff that actually makes a business work. This chart says it all, doesn't it? Over here on the left, that's the craft. That's the fun part. Making the soap, baking the cupcakes, fixing the bikes, that's why you started. But everything on the right, that's the business. That's the messy, complicated machine you have to build so that the craft can even exist. And most people are just completely unprepared for that side of the equation. And, you know, this whole conflict gets even messier. Because as a business owner, you're not just one person. You're actually trying to be 3 different people at the exact same time. And they're all fighting for control. First up, you've got the entrepreneur. This is the entrepreneur part of you, the visionary part of you, the dreamer, the one who's always looking at the horizon, asking, what's next? What if we did this? The entrepreneur lives in the future, always pushing for change and growth. Then you've got the manager. This is your inner pragmatist. The manager looks at the entrepreneur's wild ideas and says, whoa, hold on, let's get organized. The manager craves order, systems, and predictability. They are all about creating neat little boxes and to-do lists to keep things from falling into chaos. And finally, there's the technician. This is the doer, the hands-on expert who just loves the work itself, the baker who loves the feel of the dough, the designer who loves pushing pixels. The technician lives completely in the present, just focused on getting the task in front of them done perfectly. And here's the crucial point. Most people start and run their business as a technician. And when the technician is in charge, you don't build a business. You build a job, a really, really hard job that you can never, ever leave, working for the worst boss in the world, yourself. So just take a second here and be honest with yourself. When you think about your day-to-day work, which of these three personalities is really running the show? Are you the dreamer, the planner, or the doer? Because figuring that out, that is the absolute first step to fixing the imbalance. Okay, so we've diagnosed the problem, we know the trap. Now, how do we actually fix it? The key is to understand how a business is supposed to grow and then to consciously push it from one stage to the next. You see, every business goes through these three stages. First, there's infancy. That's where you, the technician, do literally everything. If you get sick, the business closes. Then comes adolescence. This is when you hire your first person, but you drive them crazy by micromanaging everything because they don't do it right. So many businesses get stuck right here and just die. The goal is to get to maturity. That's where you finally build systems so the business can run and thrive, even when you're not there. And this is so, so important to get. We live in this culture that glorifies the rise and grind. But listen, if your business depends on you hustling 18 hours a day just to keep the lights on, you don't own a business. You own a job. The whole goal isn't to outwork everybody else, it's to out-system them. So what does working smarter actually look like? The E-Myth calls it franchise thinking. Now, this doesn't mean you have to actually start a franchise. The idea is to build your business as if you are going to create 1,000 copies. You design systems that are so good, so repeatable, that anyone could run them and get a consistent result. Just think about McDonald's. It works because of the system, not because there's a world-class chef in every kitchen. So how would you actually do that? Let's wrap this all up with a really clear, actionable blueprint that you can start using today to build a business that actually serves you instead of the other way around. This right here, this is your roadmap. It all starts with your vision. You got to know exactly where you're headed. Then you organize the whole company on paper, defining every role. Now, the real magic is in the systems. You create repeatable recipes for everything, from how to answer the phone to how to close a sale. Then, and only then, do you staff it with people to run those systems. After that, you build your marketing engine, master your finances, and finally create a culture of continuous improvement. This isn't just a checklist, guys. It's a completely different way to think about your business. And that's the real payoff, isn't it? When you build a business based on systems instead of your own blood, sweat, and tears, it stops being a prison. It becomes a vehicle that's designed to give you more freedom, more money, and more life, not less. All right, you now know the trap, you know the different roles you're juggling, and you have the blueprint to move forward. The only thing left to do is to take action. So looking at that roadmap, what's the one thing, the very first, smallest step you're going to take to start working on your business instead of just in it?